Alright everybody, thank you for joining me here this afternoon. The time is currently 2:20 p.m. Central. We are here earlier than expected because things are starting to pop off very quickly here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for downtown Abilene, Texas. This is for the threats of half-dollar sized hail and damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And as of just literally a couple minutes ago, we do now have a tornado watch issued for portions of central and western Texas here. Areas like San Angelo, Brownwood, all the way up towards Abilene are included in that brand new tornado watch. I can go ahead and bring up the details for you guys of that tornado watch here on your screen in just a moment. This is not a PDS tornado watch. I do think that we'll get a PDS tornado watch today, but that'll be up further north into parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. But this is still a pretty concerning tornado watch here. Okay, so as you can see, the threats with this tornado watch include a couple tornadoes possible, scattered hail up to softball size likely, and scattered gusts up to 70 miles per hour likely. I'm trying to bring it up on your screen, but for some reason the screen mirror feature is not working at the moment. But if we take a look at the watch on Radar Omega, we can see that the probabilities are quite literally off the charts. All right, we have a high chance for severe thunderstorms in this tornado watch. All right, the tornado threat is moderate, the strong tornado threat is low, the damaging wind threat is moderate, the destructive wind threat is low, the large hail threat is moderate, and the very large hail threat is also moderate. So again, I want to reemphasize, this is not the main area of concern today. That'll come later, up further to the north for parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. But right now, all right, parts of western and northern Texas do have a brand spanking new tornado watch here that we are here covering live once again. We do already have a severe thunderstorm warning inside of that tornado watch once again for downtown Abilene. If you're in Abilene, Texas, you need to make sure that you are getting indoors and away from windows immediately, as this is a rapidly intensifying storm. If we take it back like 7 frames, we can see that it was barely even a storm cell, but now we are getting some large hail and once again damaging winds with this. This is the most active severe weather season in Oklahoma since 2013. I'd have to go ahead and agree with that, actually. Okay, we are expecting once again a very high-end threat for severe weather today. By the way, we did actually just get a lime-sized hail report out of our storm in Texas. So this is now, a hen-egg-sized hail report. So this is now officially producing egg-sized hail here as it moves off towards Abilene. So this is now a considerable severe thunderstorm. This was as of 10 minutes ago. For some reason, the warning has not been upgraded yet, but it definitely will. Again, as this approaches downtown Abilene, we are worried about very large hail and damaging winds with this severe thunderstorm here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and update the stream title to considerable severe thunderstorm warning considerable severe thunderstorm, because we don't have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, but we do have a considerable severe thunderstorm because of our 2-inch sized hail report there out of this storm. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but my voice is dead. This is probably the worst day for this to happen, but I was actually on a trip yesterday, and I was screaming the entire time. We were at a theme park. It was a busy day yesterday, okay, so I'm sorry that my voice is just absolutely gone at this point, but I'm going to try to do my best to pull everything together. I'm going to definitely let it rest in between streams because, again, this is a very, very intense day of severe weather. We'd have a moderate risk of severe weather issued for, once again, parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri here, all right? Now, this is a moderate risk driven by all hazards. We have all hazards at a 4 out of 5 moderate risk. We have a 15% hatch tornado threat for parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. We have a 45% hatch damaging wind threat for parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. And we have a hatched 45% large hail risk for portions of Kansas and Oklahoma. Okay, so once again, all hazards in play. Very high-end day of severe weather expected. There are discussions about this being upgraded to a high risk, and I think it's going to happen at the next SPC update, which, by the way, we are going to get in about 36 minutes. The reason that I think it's going to happen is because we are getting some of the highest significant tornado parameter values I've ever seen. Parts of far north Texas are getting STP values up to 26. Okay, now the scale maxes out at 10. Anything above that is a threat for strong, damaging tornadoes, and we are at a 26. So if they don't issue a high risk, at the very least, they're definitely going to extend this moderate risk into parts of far northern Texas, especially with this early development here. We do have a new special weather statement. That's to the northeast of Haskell, northwest of Throckmorton. That's for a storm producing 50-mile-per-hour winds and half-inch hail. So this is a sub-severe storm near Wienert, but it is still a very strong one. So if you are in this area, again, you need to be moving indoors immediately because these cells are just going to rapidly intensify, I think. Even the ones here down into parts of north and central Texas are going to be very dangerous, right? Again, they're going to pose a very high-end threat for all severe hazards here. I'm going to go ahead and let my voice rest for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Stream Chat, or I already have it pulled up, actually. So if anybody has any questions about their location, make sure to leave those down below. I'll try to answer them accurately and honestly. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with here so far. I'm going to let my voice rest because, as you can tell, it's already dying. So, once again, this storm is heading off to the northeast towards downtown Abilene, Texas, where, again, we are expecting a considerable severe thunderstorm to impact downtown Abilene. So again, if you're in Abilene, Texas, you need to make sure that you are getting indoors and away from windows immediately. Have multiple on-hand ways to receive alerts. That goes for anybody in our severe weather risk today, all right? It doesn't matter if you're in the, moderate, enhanced, slight, even the marginal threat for severe weather. You need to make sure that you know what is going on in your area today, all right? It's a very important thing to do because, again, we are expecting a widespread potential for strong, damaging, possibly even violent tornadoes as we go into the late afternoon and early evening time hours here. A few long-lived supercells capable of intense tornadoes may occur. That is the National Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center's wording with that. That is not just something I made up. That is their actual their wording in their description, okay? So, again, we are expecting a very violent tornado outbreak today. It's going to be pretty intense. And again, we already have a tornado watch issued. The more specific threats with this include, hold on, let me try and pull this up on your screen. I don't know why it's not working today. Just a phenomenal day for it to choose not to work, of course. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way. That storm that was originally just special weather statement warned in Texas now has a severe thunderstorm warning. So areas like Wienert, other areas east of Highway 277 here need to be making sure they are moving indoors immediately. Again, that is a severe thunderstorm warning for the threats of quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. So, again, I mean, this convection is just popping off so fast. Like, this cell in particular, look at this. 7 scans ago, this was just a little sprinkle. And now we've got a fully fledged severe thunderstorm capable of damaging winds, large hail, and again, probably even a tornado threat if this continues in this region because we have, again, a very high tornado threat today. All right, just to reiterate. So, anyway, I can't bring it up on your screen, but this tornado watch, all right, this is the threat for isolated supercells producing large hail and perhaps a couple of tornadoes again. That is only for a tornado watch in Central Texas. That does not describe the threats for anything else today. Again, we're expecting much more intense severe weather off to the north of this. But for the tornado watch right now in Central Texas, isolated supercells producing large hail and perhaps a couple of tornadoes. Do you think the enhanced risk will move north or stay in the same area? So that's actually a good question. I think if anything, the enhanced risk will probably dive a little bit further south into more portions of Central Texas, but I definitely don't think that it's probably going to go too much further north. All right, maybe it gets extended to, the Kansas-Nebraska border, but I don't see this going too much further north. I'm kind of surprised they even have the slight risk up this far north because I'm not expecting too much intense severe weather potential for areas like Nebraska. I don't think that the threat's really there. I wouldn't rule out an isolated damaging wind and large hail instance, but, I mean, it's definitely not going to be as bad as the areas to the south of you, right? So, again, I think that for the most part, areas of Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma are going to get the worst of it, and again, possibly Texas, as we go into this next SPC update here. And they do now have the considerable tag on this severe thunderstorm warning, so again, this is now a considerable severe thunderstorm capable of producing lime-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts as it heads towards downtown Abilene. So if you're in Abilene, again, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. People and animals outdoors will be injured. Expect hail damage to roofs, siding, windows, and vehicles. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. As of 17 minutes ago, 2-inch in diameter hail was reported near Maryneal. And if anything, the storm's hail core looks even more impressive now. So, if we take a look at the vertically integrated liquid signatures, we can definitely see there's a maxed out signature there. So, again, that's indicative of some very large hail. As this storm continues to head northeast towards Buffalo Gap and Tuscola here, closer to Wiley and Abilene as well, actually. Hello, Tornado Edit Gaming. I will say this storm is kind of starting to develop a little bit of a hook echo even, so we may see the tornado threat with this supercell increase here over the next several minutes. It is rotating a little bit there, so we'll have to watch that pretty closely. This storm will be near Nolan, Howelton, and Happy Valley around 2:30. Coronado's Camp around 2:40. Buffalo Gap and View around 2:55. Caps around 3 p.m. Western Abilene and Tuscola around 3:05. And Dias AFB around 3:10. What are you using for the radar? I'm using the Radar Omega app, available on iOS and Android for $8.99. I'm trying to see if we have any new updates for you guys on the severe weather potential for today. Again, we are going to get a new SPC update around 29 minutes from now. We are expecting a new one around 3 p.m. Central. I will say we do have a pretty high-end threat for severe weather tomorrow in my area. So I may not be live for as long tomorrow because I may be, out chasing the storms, actually. We have an enhanced risk for parts of Missouri, Illinois, Arkansas, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, back down towards Tennessee. Again, that's a 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather, driven by, once again, an all hazards in play scenario. 10% hatch tornado risk there for parts of Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Areas like Cape Girardeau, St. Louis, Carbondale, Poplar Bluff, down towards Union City are going to have that threat for some strong tornado potential. Damaging wind threat, 30% hatch risk. Large hail threat, 30% hatched risk. So again, we are expecting some pretty active severe weather tomorrow. Maybe not quite as active as today's, but still. How am I? I am good. You hit 804 subs. That's good. By the way, in addition to our high-end severe weather potential today, we also have the highest level, actually, of a fire outlook that we can get. So it's as high as it gets, guys. We have a extreme risk for wildfire conditions here today across parts of New Mexico and Texas. A small corridor here, areas along Highway 70 there, areas along Highway 82, Highway 54, kind of out here in a very rural area of New Mexico and Texas. Areas like Pinon, Corona, you have an extreme risk for fire danger today. That's the highest level of fire weather outlook they can issue. So, again, extremely critical fire conditions are expected in that area today. Partially, not because of our severe weather event, but also the thing that's driving our severe weather event in the plains is also causing some fire conditions out there in New Mexico and Texas today, if that makes sense. Again, our storm approaching Abilene is developing a pretty concerning hook echo, so we'll have to watch for some potential rotation developing there. Yeah, it's definitely rotating, so we'll probably see them add the tornado possible tag onto the severe thunderstorm warning soon, or if it continues to intensify as rapidly as it has been, maybe just issue a tornado warning entirely, actually. We do have a new special weather statement for a storm up here closer to areas along Highway 6 near Crowell. Okay, this is for the threat of nickel-sized hail, and it has the intensification possible tag on it, so we will probably see this storm get severe thunderstorm warning soon, because it's also another one that's rapidly intensifying here. So again, if you're in that area there, make sure that you are getting indoors immediately in Crowell. Back down here to our storm near Abilene again. Very concerning hook echo, guys. This is already looking very bad. Very picture-perfect supercell. You can see the inflow there with that hook echo. Your rotation will be located somewhere in here on the new scan. Yep, there it is. Again, this is one to watch, guys. This is going to be a very dangerous storm here as this continues to move towards Highway 277, towards areas like Abilene. So again, there's your supercell there. And this is a nasty one. This is a dangerous one. Again, if you're in this area, you need to be moving indoors and away from windows immediately, because in addition to that tornado threat with this storm, we also have a threat for lime-sized hail, which is confirmed, and 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts, potentially. In fact, most likely. Our storm up closer to Seymour is pretty intense, but again, not quite as big as our one down here. And by the way, that storm that is special weather statement warned is now severe warned for the Crowell area, as we mentioned earlier. I mean, these storms in northern and central Texas are just absolutely popping off. They are just getting severe warned so quickly. Again, 7 frames ago, there was like nothing out here. And now we've got 3 severe thunderstorms. This one's for ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. So if you're in southern Ford County or northern Knox County in northern Texas, again, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. Ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts are both threats associated with that storm there. Back down here towards our storm closer to Abilene. Again, this continues to be an extremely dangerous supercell here. Riding Highway 277. Well, it's about to cross Highway 277, really, over the next several minutes here. It's a pretty slow mover, I'll say that much. Slowly moving off to the east at about 35 miles per hour. Again, that continues to rotate there as it moves towards Hamilton. Again, that's a nasty one right there, you guys. You got to look out for this. Very intense supercell here again. Starting to have the capabilities to produce a potential tornado here as it moves closer and closer to Abilene, Texas. And I mean, that is just an absolutely beauty of a supercell there. That is just picture perfect. Then you got your classic hook shape with that. You can see an incredibly defined area of inflow. It's got that nice large hail core around the middle of it. I mean, just an absolutely, again, picture perfect supercell here, about to cross over Highway 277 once again over the next several minutes here. And by the way, we've got another supercell trying to form here. 7 frames ago, again, just a couple of sprinkles, and now as it approaches areas to the southeast of Paducah, areas like Sneedville, Chalk, and Hackleberry, is already a cell capable of producing some small hail and gusty winds. So again, I'd be watching for this one to get a special weather statement, and then again, potentially very quickly, like some of our other ones, a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, there's your classic supercellular shape there for this storm as it approaches Highway 277, areas of the south of Abilene. Again, you got to make sure you are getting indoors and away from windows immediately. They just updated this. Holy cow. Okay, this is big, guys. Tennis ball-sized hail now. This is now warned for tennis ball-sized hail, and it also has the tornado possible tag. No longer includes Abilene, though, I'll say that much. But areas like Tuscola, Lawn, again, you guys need to make sure that you are running indoors and away from windows. Very large and dangerous storm here. Again, very concerning. Holy cow. An extreme hook echo with that thing. This is a very dangerous supercell here, guys. Very dangerous storm indeed. Again, areas to the south of Abilene, areas like Tuscola, Lawn, Buffalo Gap, and Wiley are now the main areas of concern, and maybe this far southern side of downtown Abilene. Again, you need to make sure that you are running indoors and away from windows. Very dangerous storm here, guys. I really thought it would take a little bit for us to see something like this here, but we are... again, I was not even planning on going live until about 4 p.m., and at 2:40, we are already talking about a possible tornado here. Again, this is in North Texas, areas of the south of Abilene. You got to make sure that you are running indoors and away from windows if you are outside. Or, if you're just chilling there in the living room, you need to get, in the middle of your house, away from windows. Preferably on the lowest floor of a building with those 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. And again, a possible tornado there, as well as tennis ball-sized hail. Those threats are making this a extremely dangerous storm here. So, again, we'll continue to watch this here. This is looking like a pretty nasty one, though, overall so far. Your area of rotation will now most likely be located somewhere in here. Again, off to this far west of Buffalo Gap, areas west of Highway 277 right now are the main areas of concern. Your rotation is actually a little bit further southeast than I thought. Near Houghton, Happy Valley, Shep. Again, you guys need to make sure that you are running indoors and away from windows. It's a very nasty storm here. Very dangerous one as well. We already have 25 special weather statements. That's just insane. Again, I'd be watching for this storm south of Paducah to get some kind of weather alert soon. Most likely a special weather statement, but it'll probably quickly get a severe thunderstorm warning because of how quickly these supercells are just rapidly intensifying here. We do have a couple of other severe weather events going on. We got one in parts of Georgia, we got one in Florida, and then we've also got one up in Pennsylvania. None of them are the main folks right now, though, okay? Those are all just some, 60-mile-per-hour wind warnings and 1-inch hail in some cases. None of them are like what we're seeing down here in North Texas right now, so we're going to continue to focus on this here. Again, there's your velocity couplet off to the west of Houghton, probably closer to Houghton now. If you guys know how to pronounce that properly, please let me know, because I feel like I'm saying it wrong, so just let me know if I am. But anyway, again, very nasty storms here impacting portions of central and northern Texas right now, guys. Again, there's your area of rotation. Most likely at this point it's somewhere right off to the north of Houghton. Heading towards Shep, Happy Valley, or areas along Highway 277 south of Abilene. Again, you gotta look out for this one. Very nasty storm coming in right now. Again, this is continuing to grow a more concerning shape here as it continues to head east-northeast. Now your rotation will be somewhere in here. Again, right there, west of Highway 277. We're talking about what could be our first tornado-producing storm of the day here. We are about 15 minutes away now from getting our SPC update where we're going to see if they put us at a high risk of severe weather or not, or if they just keep us at a moderate risk. I would like to note something. NATOcast, the AI severe weather forecasting tool, is painting a much smaller severe weather event. Right, they're saying we have a little itty-bitty tiny 10% hatch risk of tornadoes, and in all places they're putting it in Missouri. So they are not expecting, some big-time tornado outbreak like the SPC is on the NATOcast outlook. Now, again, that's, an AI-generated experimental tool. It's obviously not perfect, but in some cases, it is surprisingly accurate. But whenever we got stuff like this already popping off, I'm going to side with the SPC for this one. Usually, NATOcast is the one that's way more aggressive, but again, I think the SPC has a right to be, painting a pretty intense picture this time around, because all the models, especially the HRRR, are showing extremely dangerous, life-threatening supercells. So, it's interesting. It certainly is. And again, we could already be talking about one of those heading towards areas south of Abilene. Again, look at that. It's growing a pretty decent velocity couplet there. Definitely at least some damaging winds with this storm. And again, very large hail, up to tennis ball size possible. It's confirmed that it's capable of producing up to lime size, though. So. And now our storm approaching Crowell is trying to do the same thing. It's trying to grow a little bit of a hook echo there, and it's rotating a little bit. So, we'll have to watch that one now as well, very closely. And even our storm closer to Monday's trying as well, guys. This is just ridiculous. We're kind of seeing this storm split into two separate supercells, actually. So, this near Gorey might actually get a severe thunderstorm warning as well. And we could be talking about, a very complicated scenario here where we've got, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in the same place. It's kind of confusing, but okay. Again, this is getting pretty concerning. Again, if you're in this area, you need to make sure that you're running indoors and away from windows immediately. I wouldn't be surprised if they were to issue a tornado warning for this soon, even, guys. It's a very intense supercell heading towards Buffalo, Buffalo Gap and Tuscola areas, once again, to the south of Abilene, Texas here. Again, this is in northern and central Texas that we're talking about right now for these supercells. Again, if you're in this area, you need to make sure that you're moving indoors and away from windows immediately. Very nasty velocity couplet there. Again, this could be a possible tornado if this continues to intensify like it has been over the past few minutes here. So, we'll watch it very closely, obviously. And then again, we're also watching some of our other supercells up here in northern Texas. So your velocity couplet's most likely located somewhere in here now. Again, this is off to the west of Shep, northwest of Happy Valley, off to the west of Highway 277 here. It's a very nasty supercell, and again, it has the very real potential to produce a tornado here over the next few minutes if it continues to intensify. This is to the north of Winters, Texas, to the south of Abilene, Texas. Alright, it's losing a little bit of its structure on reflectivity, it looks like. But again, still a very concerning storm here. with a, again, possible tornado somewhere to the west of Shep. Actually, a little bit further west than I was originally thinking. Yeah, it's definitely less impressive, but again, this is still rotating very decently here, so we'll continue to watch it. At this point, though, our more concerning storm, I would say, is the one heading towards Crowell at the moment. Again, we are expecting a new SPC update in about 9 minutes from now. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Like I said, this supercell kind of split here, so now we have two. We have this one that's off to the south of Seymour. This one's going closer towards Seymour. This one's capable of producing quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts now. So if you're in that area, again, you need to make sure that you're moving indoors immediately in Seymour, Texas. So again, we now have 4 severe thunderstorm warnings in northern and central Texas alone here. Wow. Again, pretty impressive velocity couplet, though. A little bit less so than the last scan. But still, I mean, it's getting tighter, if anything. It's just a little bit weaker overall. Definitely still a pretty defined area of inflow there on reflectivity. So again, this is going to be one that we're going to have to continue to watch over the next several minutes and possibly even the next couple of hours here as it approaches areas, once again, to the south of Abilene. And it's a pretty slow mover. It's moving off to the east at 40 miles per hour. So it's, really not even going highway speed. It's pretty slow. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning with it, though, because this one was about to expire. This is still producing the threat for lime-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts, and, again, a possible tornado. So this now does include winters and, again, areas to the south of Abilene. So if you're in this area, again, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. Again, we could see a tornado warning get issued with this storm if it continues to intensify like it has been. The reflectivity, the hook echo there is kind of trying to come back. Again, very defined area of inflow. And, again, still a pretty impressive velocity couplet there. So, we'll have to continue to watch that, obviously. As that continues to head off towards the east, it is now moving off to the east at 20 miles per hour. So, again, very slow-moving storm here. There are some humans that could literally run faster than this thing is moving. Like, I'm sure lots of people can bike faster than this storm. You could chase this storm on a bike. Now, I do not condone that, but I'm just saying, relative to how quickly it's moving, you could quite literally go out and chase this thing on a bike here. We do kind of have a little cell merger coming in, so we'll see if that kind of feeds into our storm here or if it kills our storm. This little area of showers here is going to try and cut into this storm, and again, it's either going to have the potential to kill it or the potential to make it grow even larger. So we'll see here. In some instances like this, the storm is literally strong enough to where it can absorb the surrounding showers, and that may happen here because, again, that is just an incredibly impressive supercell there. So as this little cell merger continues to head northeast, we're going to see what happens with it as it approaches downtown Abilene and areas to the south of downtown Abilene once again. I think it's interesting. They put the severe thunderstorm warning as far south as Winters. I really don't see this impacting the Winters area in any scenario. But again, areas to the north of Winters and to the south of Abilene, kind of in between those two cities there, need to be making sure that they are moving indoors and away from windows, again, immediately. Areas like Tuscola, Lawn, very concerning and, again, dangerous storm here. Continuing to produce the threats for lime-sized hail, hen egg-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and a possible tornado. Lime-sized hail and hen egg-sized hail are technically the same, but anyway, wow. Okay, so again, very concerning storm here. Again, we might get a tornado warning for this. If that does happen, prepare to take shelter immediately. Again, we're talking about, very impressive storm here, to say the least. Wow. And it's looking like this, again, this cell merger is starting to feed into the storm, actually, which is not good. So that's going to continue to ramp up this tornado threat. That may be why the tornado threat kind of ramped up with this storm here, is because of this cell merger. So again, if you're just now tuning in, we have a very dangerous and again, potentially life-threatening supercell here trying to actively produce a tornado. Areas of the west of Highway 277 in North Texas, areas near Shep and Happy Valley. Again, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for our southern cell up here close to Seymour. This is for the threat of 1-inch in diameter hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. So again, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. We may see them issue another warning actually for this cell on the north side. I know it's a confusing mess of polygons here, but this is technically two different National Weather Service zones. We're on the border of San Angelo and Norman, so we'll see what they do with that. Again, it is two different supercells. I'm not saying that it's just two different National Weather Service zones, but there are two different supercells kind of crossing into both the National Weather Service zones there, if that makes any sense at all, which it probably doesn't. Let's be real here. Wow. Again, a very dangerous storm here, to say the least. Again, this will quite possibly receive a tornado warning here over the next several minutes as it approaches Buffalo Gap, Tuscola, Lawn, and Wiley in central Texas. And they put the new severe thunderstorm warning polygon for this way further south than I would have, but it's their move, obviously not mine, so obviously the National Weather Service is going to do what's best. They know better than I do, obviously. So again, we are expecting a new Storm Prediction Center update here in about 2 minutes. So we'll see if they keep us at a moderate risk of severe weather, or if they're going to add a high risk. And wow. Alright. We have a new mesoscale discussion. I'm not seeing it, but apparently we have one here. It just hasn't loaded on the SPC website yet for me. This is from a automated SPC Twitter account here. This is the big one, guys. Here, let me see if I can pull this up. For some reason, my Wi-Fi is being incredibly slow right now. Alright, so a PDS tornado watch will be issued now. It's confirmed for parts of northwest Texas, western Oklahoma, and south central Kansas. PDS tornado watch is likely to be issued soon, according to the Storm Prediction Center. Sometime between now and 6:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Rapid destabilization and shear increase through the evening. Diffuse warm, moist front gradient. The 500 millibar temp is negative 10 degrees Celsius, increasing moisture. So overall, just like a very prime severe weather setup here. And it's going to get big, guys. Again, we're talking about a new PDS tornado watch to be issued soon. Mesoscale 954. Mesoscale discussion 954, I should say. So the time is now 3 p.m., so along with that mesoscale, We should get a new SPC update, but it is running a little bit late, it looks like, but that's okay, obviously, because they have a ton of decisions to make with this. Are they going to keep us at a moderate risk, or are they going to put us at a high risk? Are they going to extend the moderate risk further south, or are they going to keep it where it's at? We really don't know. They've got a lot of decisions to make. They got a lot on their plate, so I think we can forgive them if it's, just a couple of minutes late today. Oh, wow, okay, so again, still some very concerning rotation out here. We're talking about gate-to-gate shear, actually, over 100 miles per hour already with this storm here. And our severe thunderstorm warning for the original one for this storm has now expired, but that doesn't really matter. And so is the original warning for this storm up here near Wieners. So again, our most concerning storm right now is the one near Winters, heading towards Tuscola, Buffalo Gap, and along. We have a very dangerous storm capable of producing a tornado at any minute right now near Shep. So if you're in this area, again, make sure that you're running indoors and away from windows. The storm is also capable of producing lime-sized hail and damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. It's moving off to the east very slowly at about 20 miles per hour here. So yeah. Again, guys, thanks to this cell merger here, this cell is basically entirely recycled now into possibly, in fact, most likely an even more dangerous storm than it was earlier, originally whenever we started this stream, and it was concerning. So again, we got to continue to watch this very closely across portions of southern Taylor County here. Yeah, it's in southern Taylor County now as it approaches areas like Tuscola. Again, areas just in between Highway 277 and 84 in central Texas here. Again, make sure that you are moving indoors immediately and away from windows immediately. If you're driving on either of those roads in that area, make sure that, again, you're getting off and getting into a substantial shelter there. Wow. Again, they're almost certainly going to extend the moderate risk into parts of North Texas at the new SPC update, as they've already discussed issuing a PDS tornado watch for parts of Northwest Texas, and they've said they're going to, so. PDS tornado watches are rare, and it's something you only get whenever you've got, a moderate risk of severe weather or higher, usually. So again, storm is continuing to rotate as it approaches Highway 277 now. It's still just kind of stationary at this point, honestly, near Shep, moving incredibly slowly, if anything. Towards the north of Shep now is our area of rotation again. This is near Shep, Texas here. Waiting for this new SPC update again. It's about 4 minutes late. Again, I think we can forgive them because of all the things they're having to deal with right now and all the decisions that there are to be made. They put a lot of thought into that new mesoscale discussion, I'm sure, and also, again, they had to, type out several paragraphs of work for that, and they've got a lot of decisions to make for the new SBC update. So, even though it's 5 minutes late now, I don't think that's a reason to get mad at the Storm Prediction Center or anything, obviously. It can't be perfectly on time every single day. Again, just a very impressive supercell. Every scan, I'm just saying wow now. Because it is a wow moment right here. Again, now off to the northwest of Shep will likely be your area of rotation here. To the northwest of Shep, really. Again, trying to wait for this new SBC update here. So again, some pretty tight rotation there, decently strong. Again, northwest of Shep, Texas right now. To the west of Highway 277. And again, if you're in this area, you need to make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately, because in addition to a possible tornado, this storm is also producing 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds and confirmed lime-sized hail. So... Oh, I'm sorry. I've been a little silent. The SBC hasn't updated their risk yet as of the 3 o'clock hour. Yeah, we're waiting for it here. It's currently about 7 minutes late, but again, they have got a lot of decisions to make here, so it's understandable that this is a little bit later than usual. Again, right now, all we can really do is wait and watch this ongoing storm here near Shep as it continues to rotate, and then also our other storms in North Texas that are super cellular. It kind of looks like we're trying to get a new hook. This cell merger actually did kind of end up killing the storm in the end. It's really just not as impressive. It looks like this area of rotation is going to try to take over, but I just don't see it doing the same thing that this one did quite yet. Hello, best lily cakes. So again, we kind of have 2 areas of rotation associated with this storm now that you need to look out for. One southwest of Tuscola and one off to the west of Highway 277 near Shep. We did actually have a tornado emergency yesterday. It was very surprising, and again, unfortunately, I couldn't go live for it because I was out of state, but we did have a tornado emergency yesterday from North Texas, North Texas, that's right, northeastern Texas, really. Are there any storms or tornadoes today? Yes. Yeah, Drew, it looks like you just tuned in, but we did mention the new mesoscale earlier for the PDS Tornado Watch. But thank you, though. Let's see here. They did actually throw the tornado possible tag on our storm north of Throckmorton because it is rotating quite a bit. So again, if you're in this area, make sure you're getting indoors immediately. This might honestly be our most concerning storm in terms of the tornado threat at this point, but our 1 year Abilene's still relatively intense, I'll say that much. Just not as intense as it was, in my opinion, in terms of a real, fully fledged tornado threat there. Just trying to wait for this new SPC update here. It's about 10 minutes late now, unfortunately. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now. It's an extension for our northern supercell here, now off to the northwest of Seymour. Actually, it looks like it's an extension for... Oh, no, I'm right. Okay. So areas to the north of Seymour, again, areas along Highway 183 here, areas like Lake Kemp. Make sure you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. That's for the threat of ping pong ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds approaching Grayback and Hoot and Holler Crossing. Interesting name. For sure. And okay, we finally have the new SPC outlook. They're keeping us at a moderate risk of severe weather, surprisingly. So, again, they're sticking with the 4 out of 5 moderate risk of severe thunderstorms today for parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri. They don't have the actual outlook out yet, but the categorical risk, we can see the max one is moderate as of 2 minutes ago. Let me see if I can actually find the new outlook. And we have another new severe thunderstorm warning now. It's an extension for our southern cell down here close to Seymour. I know it's kind of confusing, for the threat of golf ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And we have another one as well for golf ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds for our western cell. We kind of have 3 cells here. I'm going to refer to them as the northern cell, the southern cell, and the western cell. This one is heading towards areas of the south of Vernon, again, with the threat of golf ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, and so is the one closer to Seymour. So if you're in either of those areas, make sure you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. I do have the new SPC update for you guys, and again, as I was saying, they did actually extend that into parts of North Texas. Shoot, I forgot I can't show it to you guys. But yeah, it is now for parts of North Texas, Central Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, and then southwestern Missouri. They put it a little bit further out into southwestern Missouri as well. I'll say that much. It's now kind of out towards the Springfield area, I do believe. So, again, that is the new SPC update there as of 3 p.m. Central Time. So, I think at this point, since we don't have any active tornadoes or tornado warnings, we're going to end off the live stream here. Again, this has been part 1 of our severe weather coverage for May 25th, 2024. Again, we will be back later live for more tornadoes, or more tornado potential. So, thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.